Good morning, y'all, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me. So in today's video, we're going to talk about this RV right here behind me and what makes it so awesome. But before we get started, I want to remind you guys, PavingNewPaths.com has several new merch items available right now, and you also have 2 more days, today Sunday and tomorrow Monday, to check out our Black Friday sale. We are offering buy 2 shirts, get a third one at 50% off. So head over to PavingNewPaths.com and check out our new designs. We love them, we think you will too. Now, let's get to the video. Before we get started, let's meet Mr. Thomas. If you don't know Mr. Thomas, here's Mr. Thomas.
Hello.
You look like you're sponsored by somebody for this video.
You wonder who?
You know, there's new merch available today right now.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Black Friday stuff. We have Phil stuff and we have some blue store, orange store, and green store stuff.
Awesome.
You guys want to see what his RV is? It is a Durango D321 RKT. I'm gonna guess the 321 means the length and RKT probably means rear kitchen.
Correct.
Do y'all want to see the capacities on this RV before we get started? So this thing right here has a gross vehicle weight rating of 12,995 pounds and a payload capacity of 2,765 pounds. So it's a really big camper, but it's a really low weight. So you can actually pull this probably with a single axle 350 or even a 250. But Mr. Thomas uses a Ford F350 dually, so he's got more than enough truck to pull this RV. So Mr. Thomas, when you decided to buy this RV, what was it you were looking for in an RV? And why did this one meet that criteria?
I like the floor plan.
So the floor plan sold it. Yeah. How many different brands or models did y'all look at before you decided on this one?
We'd been looking for a long time, but when we saw this rear kitchen, we decided this was it.
I always say that there's no such thing as a perfect RV, but this one is pretty close to it, especially if there's just 2 people involved. If it was just me and Alicia, this thing right here has such an awesome floor plan. It makes a lot of sense, and it actually has a ton of room for what it is, because it is a giant open floor plan. You were just telling me what you paid for this, and we'll just call it mid-60s. What's cool about this is there are several floor plans like this from other brands, but I think the price makes this one a huge value because you have a whole lot of things packed in this RV at a much lower price than some of the bigger names.
That's one of the selling points of this RV.
So you add a propane generator, a satellite dish, and a Wi-Fi booster.
That's correct.
And all those things brought it to mid-60s.
Yes.
Before that, it was high 40s, which makes this thing awesomely priced for what it provides for you compared to some of the other more expensive brands. So we're gonna start talking about all the things on the outside of this RV. And the first thing is, it didn't come like this, but he added a Onan 6500 onboard generator that's powered by propane. And you guys have seen us do maintenance on this thing recently, but this thing is awesome. A lot of the campers that are not toy haulers do not come with a generator. You can add it later like he did, but most of the time, there's not enough room up here in this front basement storage to even add one. So that's pretty cool, because even if you didn't have the generator, that is a huge front storage compartment area that he could utilize for storage. Let's walk around to the side. So the first compartment over here is your automatic transfer switch and your battery disconnect, as well as your batteries. I will say, your battery is a lot easier to get to than mine. Mine's up there in the front, you have to work hard for it, and my transfer switch is hidden behind the wall.
Oh, I know about behind the wall. We'll talk about
your
that
converter.
later.
The next thing about this RV is it's built on a drop frame, and most drop frame campers provide this right here. Huge basement storage, and this thing has a lot of it. So you have this giant storage area, and you can see it's pass through, and it's huge. Most of these RVs, when they have a storage this big, usually that side by the wet bay has a very small opening. This one has a huge opening all the way through. Plus you have all the storage up there, which is underneath his bedroom. It came with the solid steps by LCI, and it rides on 16-inch steel tires. It has an outdoor kitchen with a fridge. So you have the fridge right here with some extra waters. You have this Suburban propane griddle. You have some storage out here. All this storage right here. Sorry, it might be a little dirty, but Mr. Thomas actually uses this camper quite a bit. So they're always traveling. And it's got this little storage compartment back here, which he stores his extra propane tank in. All right, Mr. Thomas, another thing that I really like about your RV, you have the Solera awnings. And the cool thing about those is your awning lights are right there underneath the awning. You can use those without rolling your awning out.
That's correct.
Ours, I have to roll the awning out to get the use of the awning lights. I like the way yours are because you can light up the campground without having the awning out, which we all know awnings are very touchy in RVing.
That's right.
Like right now, this wind we got here might not be a good day for awnings. So right here by the front door is a propane hookup to hook up to a external grill or griddle. You ever use that?
Yes.
You have used it, okay.
The griddle. And you can hook up your fire pit at the same time.
So you can actually have that still hooked up and this hooked up out here.
That's correct.
That's awesome. He also has the Furrion camera above his door and 2 outdoor speakers. I assume you use the speakers more than you use the camera?
Correct.
He also has custom jack pads. Where'd you get those?
Oh, I think it was through Paving New Pads.
Oh yeah, so you know a guy?
Yeah, I know a guy.
Everybody in this town right now has a pair of those jack pads. On this side, we have 2 30-pound propane tanks with an automatic transfer switch. Also, this thing comes with the Lippert auto level. It's the electric auto level. So you have the 2 fronts and 2 in the rear. Here is the other side of the pass-through basement storage. You can see how big this opening is. And here is his wet bay. It also comes with a 12-gallon Suburban hot water heater. And this right here is super awesome, Mr. Thomas. You have a light out here you can use. You know what mine doesn't have?
A light.
A single light on this side of the RV.
Man.
I do have lights, but they're inside the bays. You have one out here that's actually useful.
Really helped to hook up.
It's a 50-amp camper, and he has the Furrion side. Did you add those?
That was another.
You add the Furrion camera system.
Yes.
Do you use it?
The backup.
Do you ever use the side ones?
No,
So just the backup.
just the back.
Do you use it to back up, or do you use it when you're driving?
When I'm driving.
Just to make sure you get around cars? So this thing actually has 1 black tank and 2 gray tanks. So the front dump right here is for his black tank, and I assume it's his shower gray tank. And at the rear of the camper, you're gonna have a dump for the rear kitchen gray tank. Now this thing has 2 opposing electric rack and pinion slides. So this is the living room, and the one on the opposite side is also the living room. And then right here, his bedroom has the Swintech slide. Most people that buy RVs don't use them a lot, because we're full-time, we use them all the time. You guys actually use your camper like once a month.
Yeah, we try.
And you told me when you bought this, y'all's original goal was if you're gonna buy an RV, once a month they were going somewhere.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, every time I call you, you're on the road somewhere.
We're ready to go.
I've been over here quite a bit to help you with some of your problems, because you do actually use this RV, and you've had some things, which we'll get to all the things he's ever had wrong with it after we show you the inside. So right here, he actually has the Lippert screenshot and the Lippert thin shade on his doors. And as you walk in, you'll see the open floor plan. This is what's awesome about this RV. Look at this open floor plan. You walk right into a huge living and entertaining area, as well as a rear kitchen. I guess we'll just start right here and go around. So here is your entertainment center, TV, fireplace. Then you have the rear kitchen. So the rear kitchen has a Furrion stove, a Furrion 3-burner stovetop, and a Furrion convection oven. Which one do y'all use the most, Mr. Thomas?
The oven.
The oven?
Yes.
So you know what's funny? We don't use the oven at all on ours. We actually thought it was broke for like a year. Turned out we didn't know how to do the pilot light.
Uh-oh.
But
it is tricky.
It is tricky. I always thought it was broke. I was like, oh, I got to fix that. And then one day I just held it way long and it came on. So anyway, we actually don't use that in ours, but we would love to. But we actually use that a lot, and we use that like 100% of the time almost. You have all this counter space back here, and you have this giant stainless steel single cavity sink. Do you like the sink?
Yes.
See, we have a divided sink. And Alicia always says she wants one that's one big open area, because in an RV, it seems like you never have enough room. And that's our problem. We never have enough room to clean everything, and this, even our big sink is not enough room to clean. So next to the sink, he has a Norcold dual refrigerator. So this is very similar to ours, but I think yours is slightly different. Yeah, yours is definitely a little bit different, but I think they're the same size. I don't know what model that is. Had any problems with it?
The top, it won't stay on.
Oh, the top trim?
The screws won't stay in.
Oh, so the top trim keeps falling off.
Yeah, and they've actually warranted. I brought that into warranty, and they didn't fix it.
This is about the same as ours. You have some different storage trays down there. We load ours up, and we've never had a problem with it.
I've never had a problem.
If you read the internet, these propane 12-volt fridges, everybody hates them. We actually have a problem the other way. Ours freezes stuff.
We have sometimes have frozen eggs.
Especially if you don't want it frozen, it has to go down.
Down, that's right.
Top shelf is almost like part freezer.
Part freezer, that's correct.
On this side, on this slide, you have this 4-table dinette. Table extends out. You have one set of couches right there, and a second set of couches right there. Is that the one that folds out into a bed?
Yes, it does.
So it'll come out to what, about right here? This thing is perfect for 2 people, and you have enough room for a few guests. See, that's the bad thing about ours. This right here is what we wish we could have in a toy hauler and still have a toy hauler. We want a good entertaining area because we have a good master and a good toy hauler, but we sacrificed with this space right here. So our kitchen and our living area is where we lost the room.
We have more living area than we do bathroom or bedroom.
And you also have the ceiling fan, and you have a Max Air fan in this room as well. You have a Coleman Mach. You have one in here and one in your master, so you have 2 ACs. Let's walk up the stairs. Right here is his LCI 1 control. It's got almost everything ours does. It's got a few less options, but you can add things just like ours. The ACs are not integrated into the 1 control. He has to use this right here, so he can't use his phone to control his ACs. Or his generator has his own panel right here. So with our LCI 1 control, the generator control and the AC controls are integrated into this touchscreen. Come up here, we have the bathroom. It's got a huge one-piece shower with these sliding glass doors. It's got this bathroom storage right here, standard RV toilet, and a good amount of counter space for your sink area. So up next is the master bedroom. It's an east-west bed, and that's actually the Swintex slide. There is the second AC controls for the bedroom AC. This giant closet area with an automatic light. That's actually really is a huge closet area, Mr. Thomas. TV, vanity, place to sit down, put your shoes on. The inside of this thing is what makes this thing awesome. Like if we didn't have kids, this is perfect for us because of that out there. All right, so we're back in the entertaining room and we're gonna show you all the storage. So above the couch that is the bed, you have your breaker box, some storage, all that storage right there, and all this storage right here. So over here on the front yard slide, which is the back side of the outdoor kitchen, you have all this storage beside the TV, above the TV, and look at this. This goes all the way back. There is a lot of storage in there. And right here down alongside the right side of the TV. So right here next to the entertainment system is the little bar area. And you can see there's tons of storage right here, and even right here there's pass-through. So what's on this side, you can also see from the kitchen side. You also have all these drawers right here. And the storage underneath the sink. Here's all the storage above the microwave, besides the microwave, and above the sink. This thing is pretty awesome, and it's mostly because of this open floor plan right here. It makes this camper feel huge, especially since we're on opposing slides right here that make this whole room feel giant. Now, Mr. Thomas, have you enjoyed this RV?
Very much so.
Has it fulfilled all your requirements from when you bought it?
Yes, it has.
Now, let's talk about some of the things that have not been so fun about this RV.
And there has been a few things.
You made a list. I have the list. The first thing here, your awning has already needed to be replaced.
When I first got it, before it left the sales lot, we opened up the slide and the awning was hanging off on one side at the end.
So it damaged the awning at the dealership still?
Yes.
The whole awning or just the fabric?
The fabric. They replaced the fabric on the awning.
We were camping with you one time and somehow your awning destroyed your step rail handle coming in. We have no idea how that happened, but you folded your awning in and it bent the handle you used to walk in the door. It just crumbled it into like a Z.
And it had to be replaced.
Which we did ourselves.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
So the next up is the door latches and the locks on your basement storage doors would not latch, and then you couldn't lock them.
That is correct.
On both sides?
On both sides.
And so did they fix that or they adjust them?
They adjusted and it worked.
See, I had that same problem in mine, but not at first. About 1,000 miles, almost all of them need to be adjusted because they stop latching.
It was after we had traveled a little bit.
The 12-volt plug in the kitchen would not work.
There's a plug above the kitchen.
Okay.
Where
Oh, for like USBs?
USB, where you could plug the monitor that you can watch what's going on outside the door.
Through the Fury on camera.
For the Fury on camera, and that would not work.
Was it just the plug or was it a wiring problem?
They replaced the plug.
So tell me about this one. The trim around the door came loose. Which door? Tell me.
This door right here.
Right there?
Yes.
And Mr. Thomas said, I'm gonna fix it myself.
I can fix that with a staple gun.
And what happened when you started stapling?
I hit a wire and it shut down the whole back half or the whole front half of the trailer.
So he found out that by putting staples right there, there's actually wires right there next to the door, and you stapled right into them.
$600 and some odd later, It was fixed.
Purely accidental, because you wouldn't think wires would be right there.
That's correct.
During the big Texas freeze, as you wrote down here in the notes, what happened to this camper?
We had a freeze and it froze the faucet.
The faucet itself.
The faucet itself. And actually, when I carried it to the dealership, they said that all of their faucets in the entire lot did the very same thing and had to be replaced. And we did prepare for it, but undoubtedly not well enough.
So all right, this next one, you say the drawer on the refrigerator bottom broke out, they fixed it, and now it's broke again.
It's broke again.
So we're talking about that drawer right there, and the bottom keeps falling out, and they keep fixing it.
Very thin piece of wood. I have refixed it myself, and now we only put plastic in there. We put no pots and pans.
All right, you've already had to replace the battery on the RV?
Yes.
Is that because you let it here by the house and it's not being fully maintained all the time?
That is correct.
Also, I've told him that just because the battery disconnect is turned off, there's still gonna be things that have power inside this RV.
So I keep it plugged in with a trickle charger.
We already talked about the screws above the trim piece on the refrigerator. No matter how many times he's been to the dealership to get it fixed, they still come out. This is one I helped y'all remotely because I was traveling. I think I was somewhere really far away from you guys. The RV was not working one day, and they called me and told me they woke up and half the RV or most of the RV was not working. Well, after they talked about it, they told me that all the lights and basically all the 12-volt circuits were not working in this RV.
The only thing that was working was the beep from the
carbon monoxide detector.
Carbon monoxide.
And that usually means it's lost power. When it starts beeping, it's because it's lost power. And I said, well, that's funny because you're plugged into shore power. You should at least have 120, which they did, but they didn't have anything else. That means your converter has got a problem. It's behind the wall somewhere in the most inconvenient spot, which it was. And thanks to Lolo, because Lolo actually crawled up in there and took the wall down, they found the fuses were bad in the converter, changed the fuses out, everything's been good since. No one knows why the fuses went bad, but it happened. And it's nice to know where that stuff is, because most people don't know that the fuse could blow or if there's even fuses on it. And when it does, how do I find it? How do I get to it?
That's correct. And it was going to go to the dealership.
So what happened likely is the fuses blew, your battery powered the RV until the battery went dead, and then the next morning is when y'all called me. Because when the battery goes dead, that's when that thing started beeping. Converters. You know, if they're gonna have fuses on them and be a big deal, they should put them somewhere easy to get to. Mine's behind the wall too. I have so many things behind my wall. Even though you have had some problems, they've all been relatively minor and all been fixed pretty easily. Would you buy this RV again?
Absolutely. One thing to note though, on a rear kitchen, if you go through Shreveport, Louisiana, you're gonna bust your eggs. And if you don't have your cabinets tied down, everything's gonna fall out. I
don't think it matters where your kitchen is. If you have an RV and you go through Shreveport, Louisiana, everything's gonna be somewhere it wasn't when you started. I just drove my dad's camper through Shreveport and I took the bypass and the bed still walked off and things moved.
I've had the couch move all the way out to the front of the trailer.
He drove through Shreveport and this couch right here walked all the way out here.
And I went around, and that's going around the bypass.
I'm telling you, if you care about your RV or your truck or anything you own, never drive through Shreveport, Louisiana.
That's right. Now
that we've shown you the RV, let's talk about the truck Mr. Thomas uses to pull this camper. And it's the best truck ever made. It's a Ford F350 dually. We're a little biased because we have the black version. He has the white version. This is a 2017. It's the 6.7 Power Stroke diesel with the 6-speed. And he also has the B&W companion hitch. It's the puck style. Y'all may have seen this truck in several videos because he actually has the same onboard air system that we have in ours, but we didn't film when we installed ours because we weren't making YouTube videos yet. So the video you saw where we installed it on our channel was actually us installing it on his truck. And now you guys know, recently I had a problem with my air tank because it was full of water and I had the pressure switch go bad and the check valve go bad. Well, I told Mr. Thomas there's a problem we need to address where we added a remote drain valve where we can drain the tank and the water out of the tank from inside the cab. We told Mr. Thomas we'll be over there as soon as you see this video and install those parts. Well, Mr. Thomas saw the system and we have the parts. So today we're going to install the remote drain valve on his truck as well because I am sure his tank is full of water. Now, Mr. Thomas, you haven't drained your tank ever, have you?
I have not.
We're going to drain the tank on camera to show you guys how much water is actually in this tank. And then we're going to install the remote drain valve. Now, you guys have already seen me install the remote drain valve, so I'm not going to show you that. If you're interested in how to do it, I'll link the video when we did it on mine down below. You ready to see this water?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah. Look at all that water. Mine was the same way. That's why we're installing this remote drain valve kit. Because just like me, you would have had a problem eventually. Because it is full of water.
And it doesn't look real clear.
Now it's usually a rusty color water because you have water inside your tank and it's starting to rust inside the tank. Mine was the same way. And it's funny, it's like I blow mine out daily now because it's fun, because I can use an outfitter. And there is water that comes out every single day. All right, now that you've seen how much water comes out of the tank, now you know why it's so important to install this remote drain valve. As soon as the work started, you guys will not believe who just showed up. Who just showed up, Mr. Thomas?
Hey, it's Phil's chair.
Yeah, this chair just keeps showing up out of nowhere. Everywhere I go, there's no Phil, but his chair just keeps showing up.
It's amazing.
Phil ain't here, you gonna hold it down for him?
Hey, I can do that.
Anyway, we're gonna install this remote drain valve and we'll show you the finished product. Are you ready to give it a try?
Let's give it a shot.
Go try it out. It's number 4. Now you can do remote draining at all times. I'm telling you, I do it every day now, and just now, we already drained it once. Water came out just now.
Be sure to do it.
I do it every day, plus it sounds cool.
Yeah, it does.
So we finished installing the remote drain valve on Mr. Thomas's truck. He should be good to go, and hopefully he'll never have the problems that we had. And I also hope you enjoyed hanging out today and filming a tour of Mr. Thomas's RV. Now remember, our Black Friday sale is still going on, so today and tomorrow you can head over to pavingnewpaths.com, and we're running a special where if you buy 2 t-shirts, you get a third one 50% off. Thanks for hanging out with us. Love you guys. See you later.